Hello everyone, welcome to Inconvenient Truths. I'm your host, Jennifer Zeng. Shortly after Putin's visit to China and just 3 days after Taiwan's new president took office, a number of major events have taken place. The first is that the Chinese People's Liberation Army, PLA, has launched military exercises around the island of Taiwan. And the second is that the UK defense minister said that the intelligence has evidence of Chinese lethal aid to Russia. The third event is that Russia has announced the nuclear weapons drills near Ukraine. The fourth event is that the Dutch semiconductor production equipment maker ASML and Taiwan semiconductor manufacturing company TSMC have both said that to deal with the CCP's forceful attack on Taiwan, they have the means to remotely paralyze the chip manufacturing equipment. And the fifth event is that serious clashes have occurred in the legislative Yuan of Taiwan, and that Taiwanese society is already likely to experience the kind of internal division and unrest that the CCP would like to see the most. All these signs indicate that the CCP is determined to have a showdown with the US and the West. So when exactly is the time for a showdown? Stick around till the end. Now, let's talk briefly about the above-mentioned major events. Today, the CCP announced that the PLA would launch punishment drills around Taiwan in what it said was a response to separatist acts, sending up heavily armed warplanes and staging mock attacks, and as state media denounced newly inaugurated President William Lai, or Lai Ching-te in Chinese. The Eastern Theater Command of the PLA said it had started joint military drills involving the Army, Navy, Air Force, and the Rocket Force in areas around Taiwan this morning, and the drills would last 2 days. The drills are being held in the Taiwan Strait, the north, south, and east of Taiwan, as well as areas around the Taiwan-controlled islands of Kinmen, Mazhu, Wuqiu, and Dongying. It was the first time that the CCP's exercises have included areas around these islands. Actually, I warned about the CCP's intention to create tensions in Kinmen and Mazhu at least twice in the past, in February this year and in August last year. The drills were named Joint Sword 2024A, unlike a similar Joint Sword exercise in April last year. These drills are tagged A, opening the door for potential follow-ups. The second piece of news was reported by Reuters. It says that British Defense Minister Grant Shapps accused China yesterday of providing or preparing to provide Russia with lethal aid in its war against Ukraine. For me, this is not news at all. I have talked about how the CCP was providing Russia with lethal aid and why the CCP wanted to support Russia many times before. To save time, I will not repeat what I said before, but will put the links to my previous videos in the description box or comment area below for you to check out later. Once again, I was ahead of the mainstream media. I'm sure that you have read the news that Russia's military has begun drills involving tactical nuclear weapons, and it was the first time Russia has publicly announced drills involving tactical nuclear weapons. So I won't talk much about this news itself. The only point I want to make here is why now? Does anybody still remember the unexpected hug that Xi Jinping gave Putin in Beijing? So I believed that the reason why Russia started the nuclear drills now is because Xi Jinping has made up his mind to show down with the West. He no longer bothers to play the role of the so-called ambassador of peace. In other words, he no longer wants to hide his true thoughts and goals anymore. According to Bloomberg, ASML Holding, Invade, and Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company have ways to disable the world's most sophisticated chip-making machines in the event that the CCP invades Taiwan. ASML assured U.S. officials about its ability to remotely disable the machines when the Dutch government met with the company on the threat. So why were they discussing this? This means they believe that the possibility of a CCP invasion is high, right? You may or may not have heard about the chaos in Taiwan's legislative yuan in the past few days. On May 15th, ruling and opposition lawmakers engaged in physical scuffles and verbal attacks over several controversial bills, including amendments that would give the legislature additional powers. Soon, tens of thousands of Taiwanese took to the streets to protest against these amendments, which they believe are not fair and dangerous. I won't go into the details about these amendments. I only want to say again that I warned the world about the CCP's intention and plan to create chaos in the Taiwan legislative yuan before, at least twice, once in April and once in February this year. Sometimes it is hard to verify the internal information I gained from within China or the CCP system. Sometimes, even if you believe in this kind of information, you don't know how the CCP will achieve their goals. However, if you observe what actually happened and compare what is happening now with what I revealed before, you will know things have been happening as the CCP planned. It pains my heart to say that people, especially Taiwanese people, don't know that the CCP is carefully manipulating the differences between different political parties and controlling some of the politicians who have sold Taiwan to the CCP. They don't know that the chaos was created or amplified by the CCP so that the CCP could have greater chances to take down Taiwan. They eagerly fight among themselves instead of trying to unite to fight the CCP, which is the real and true enemy. Important time window. Is 2024 really an important time window? Almost half of 2024 has passed, and the world landscape is indeed evolving at an accelerated pace. In the second half of this year, the highly anticipated U.S. presidential election will be held. And no matter what the outcome will be, the CCP will surely take it as a good opportunity to create chaos in the U.S. At the same time, the CCP knows that the window of opportunity for it to encroach on Taiwan will not be too long. To repeat, from all indications, Xi Jinping has indeed made up his mind to start the final showdown. What do you think? Please leave us a comment and share your much valued input. Well, that's all for today. Since YouTube keeps taking down my subscriptions, please do take a moment to check if you are still subscribed. If not, please subscribe or subscribe again. Or you can also go to my website at jenniferzengblog.com to sign up for a membership or make a donation to support my effort. Thank you. See you next time.